I'ma walk on the beat. I eat my plate and it made me obese. I've been pushing lyrics like a kingpin. And when today we got them.
Olaf.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos noches.
Yeah, I'm using the you know what I'm saying? These as because I don't want to clean up, but I should be using those. And we've been selling a lot of those lately.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
There's been a run
really
on them.
Good.
Yeah.
Because it's holiday season is upon us.
Yes, it is.
So if you haven't gotten your coffee cup to give to your favorite coder, mom, dad, I know you guys Momagers, dadagers, you guys need one. Students, get one for a teacher.
I use mine as a pencil cup on my desk.
It's multi-purpose. I think we've talked about it 1,000 times.
We have.
So, yeah.
We have.
But, not only, if anything else, they look cool. So get your coffee cup, man.
I love it.
And use it purposely, put it to use. Coffee cup or pencil holder.
There we go.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize, and I'm just kind of jumping right in. It's a lot more parents managing their kid artists.
Yes.
Usually it's just a mom. Mostly to me, I see a lot of moms. But then when I see a dad, usually mom is involved as well. I've seen the group too. So a lot of people don't know. NLE Choppa's dad is his road manager and his mom's his manager.
Manager, yeah.
Then he has Tricky too. But the parents are involved.
Yes.
In the process.
When I first started, it wasn't like that. Like parents would call me and ask me to talk their kids out of wanting to be rappers. And now it's kind of the opposite. Like parents are so supportive and I love that.
Yeah.
They see it as a viable path for their kid.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the parents that are bold enough to venture off into it have seen some type of success in their careers. Mm-hmm. So they have some disposable income.
And they might be fans of the music, whereas in the 90s, parents that were coming up in the 70s weren't really listening to rap.
Right. Well, I mean, even so, some of them may feel they're business savvy, and some of them may have been blessed to have heard of Wendy Day interview and that says, don't sign a contract. Everybody's going to take advantage of you. And they're like, you know what? This is my baby. I'm going to make sure we get this done right. Mm. And they invest their time and resources. And shout out to Ray J's mom. That's one of the people that I never had the pleasure of, of working with or personally meeting, but I had heard so many stories about how Ray J's mom would call the radio station and demand to speak to PDs and find out why songs hadn't, why did I lose 2 spins last night? And, that was one thing I heard. Like every time I would sit down with a PD, I would always ask a question. And I would always get the same answer about the same things or the same tactics that she would do. And it wasn't with just one particular station. It was with all of the PDs and all of them. So it was like, you know what? Well, maybe there's a rhyme to a reason to it. You know what I mean? And the more I dug into it, the more I was like, you know what? She was right. She was so right for doing that. And she studied that. And obviously Brandy went on to win Grammys and Ray J's gone on to be a brand ambassador and a successful artist and actor and so forth and so on. So mom was on to something. Mom knew something about something. Obviously she had some talent and she helped cultivate it to the next level. And I'm sure they had an amazing team around them. But speaking on momagers and dadagers, she was one of the people that kind of opened my eyes to the type of commitment it takes to the follow-up.
Yeah, follow-up is a big deal.
I admire that because a parent really knows their child, whereas a manager from the outside doesn't necessarily know their client inside and out the way a parent would know a child. Mm-hmm. And I admire a parent for being able to be detached enough to watch their kid go through what they have to go through in this industry.
I don't think it's easy.
It can't be easy.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure a lot of times parents feel they can be the ultimate motivators, and if they're going to exhaust their resources, then I believe that they may feel. I was watching an interview just recently, with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was talking about education through authority, and it kind of made me sit back a little bit. Because you can't force anybody to learn.
No, as much as you want to.
And, the discovery, science is about discovery. It's always being on the edge of discovering what's next and what's new. And just, hearing somebody talk about how people learn and the process to learn and how he teaches his kids and how he allowed them to learn and some of those different things. Just brought a different perspective in. And as parents, funny that we're talking about this today, as parents, it made me think about, the memes of, the first day of school, 2 + 2, if he's got 2 apples and you eat 1, how many do you have left? Like, you're not teaching them by yelling at them. Mm-hmm. You're not teaching at them by getting, forcing them and stuff. And so, as a parent that wants to take the leap of faith, I think the biggest disservice that you do to your child is not knowing the music business. You know your passion. You know common sense business. You know mathematics. Yes. You got a degree. You studied business at such prestigious university. You interned and you worked here and there, and you are making a lucrative amount of money doing in your chosen field, and you feel that you should be able to translate that into the music business. And to that I say,
I've seen more parents damage their child's career than I've seen help it. Yes.
Because I think it could be a double-edged sword, because you know your kid's strengths and weaknesses, and then sometimes the parent part of you could take over the business part of you. A little bit more, because you're more emotionally attached to your kid than them as a professional.
And you're not going to stress them out. Like, there are times where I'll ask a client to do something not knowing that they don't want to do it, and they'll do it just because I asked. Whereas a parent in their mind would be like, okay, I'm not even going to ask my kid to do this because my kid's not going to do it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of leeway when you don't know somebody and you ask them to do something, and it's like, they're like, I can't tell her now. Okay. Whereas you can look at your mom and be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be some baggage there from, how they grew up.
Unfortunately,
all type of stuff.
We've been tricked into believing that we have options on a lot of ways to do things, and we don't. And that's why the winners are far few and in between. There are a lot of contestants. There are a lot of competitors.
Yeah,
there are few champions.
Yep.
And if those options were viable, then there would be more champions.
It's true.
I don't think there can be a lot of champions, though. I think it's going to be a lot of competitors, not a lot of champions. I just don't think it's designed for thousands and thousands and thousands of champions.
The music industry, there's not enough ears.
I just feel like, it's going to be a lot of competitors, but those slots that are for, those top placements or those top spaces to occupy are for a chosen few. So I just feel like you have to strive to get in the room. But if you when you get in the room, you got to stay in the room, because
I think it's moments.
Fall out of the room.
I think it's moments. I don't think it was written anywhere for Ice Spice or Lil Yachty or Bad Baby or Lil Tay or anybody to have their moment at the top, albeit for 10 seconds or for 10 years. I think people have, and the megastars that have learned to use the moment to create other moments.
There you go.
Those are the masters of their destiny, if you will.
Agree.
The people that have parlayed one position into another, and have constantly found a way to make moments relevant. In today's day and age, those are the ones that are winning. To where, in the 80s or 90s, you could have manufactured a moment for an artist. It could have been a big rollout. It could have been a radio takeover. It could have been an MTV and a VH1 push. The outlets where the resources that you could have used to say, hey, I'm here, were limited.
Right.
So, we talked about the Prince documentary. If you haven't watched the Prince documentary, watch it, where they're like, well, when Prince was at his heyday and Madonna, these guys were at their heyday, nobody knew what working a record was.
Yeah.
They knew there was radio and they knew there was PR. There was a couple things you had to do, but that doesn't mean you were working a record. That means you were just creating publicity for it. No disrespect or shade to anybody that was involved in that machine. You guys pioneered the culture and what we know now as the machine. But I say all that to say this. You have to be able to grow, and you have to be able to move with the speed of it. And I don't think a lot of people want to move at the speed of it.
I think also we become very fractured, and you started to touch on it when you said back in the day there were like 3 or 4 things that you did. Well, today there's so many different outlets and there's so many different eyeballs, right? Yeah. So your competition isn't just other artists. Your competition is books. Your competition is gaming. Your competition is the internet, social media. Like
Yeah,
there's
you
so
think
many
you-
different things that take people's eyeballs. I don't believe we can have superstars much longer. I think everybody's going to start to become like middle class artists. Blaine and I were talking about this morning. There's so many artists out here that have 4, 5, 6 million monthly listeners that we've never heard of.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Well, it's because there's 8 billion people in the world.
Yes. And there's eyeballs. Remember, we all used to be connected, and we would talk about, what we watched on TV last night at the water cooler at work. That doesn't happen anymore.
I remember when I was a kid, bro, and Alf and the Fresh Prince. I remember we talked about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the first episode, all day at school. We could not stop talking. Alf.
Yeah.
We could not stop talking about Alf.
Dog, like
I just dated myself
think
horrendously.
think of the apps. Like you got Hulu, Peacock, you have all these different apps. You have YouTube, you have all these different streaming apps that you can go watch. Disney Plus, all these specific apps to watch, Netflix, to watch movies and TV series. I feel like it's just so many options. We did our A3C panel, and we barely made it outside. It was so many artists talking to us. I just remember a time when it was one music conference or maybe 4 for the whole year.
It was TJ's DJs or Ozone Magazine. Shout out to
Now-
Junior Beverly and TJ Chapman.
It's a music conference, arguably 10 a month. It's possible to be going on. People would travel from all over
Be
the
mindful
country.
of first annual music conferences. Oh, damn, I can't even say that.
Sorry.
Goofballs. It's inaugural.
I'm just saying,
You're not
like,
having a first annual anything. Anybody that has a first annual
annual.
networking conference or music event, the finesse is on.
yeah. But I'm just saying, it's just so much music, so much competitions, just so much everything. Think about cable TV. Think about cell phones. Think about everything we're talking about. It's competition across the board.
Because
Man, before
everybody
you start,
sees that there's money involved.
when I have
in
to
it, bro.
post my sneaker of the day, I post it on Facebook. I post it on Threads. I post it on X. I post it on Instagram. I post it on
TikTok.
I post it on everything.
Shorts.
That's just me. I'm posting it on 8 things in a time frame of 5 minutes. Oh, gotta make sure I forgot to post it on here. That's just me.
Right.
And
So
that's every
imagine-
day, right?
And that's every other day. And that's just like my sneaker of the day or whatever I'm posting. I just have to post on all my
Different platforms.
That's
It's
crazy.
Imagine being an artist and you have to
Imagine
post
being-
4 times a day on all of those platforms.
Well, I post-
it's a full-time job.
Or imagine being an artist and having amazing music and not caring about any of that. And somebody else sees that you don't care about that and they go take care of it for you.
Yeah.
And then they give you a penny off of every $10 they make.
Yeah.
And then the day you decide to wake up and care, you're like, hey man, where's all that? And then everybody's like, what? But you didn't care.
You didn't care.
No, but yeah, I did. But that's not right, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying to you is that if you monetize and optimized all 8 of those platforms, Ferrari, you'd get paid
Funny story.
for posting on all of those websites.
Funny story. Country Wayne, it was trending because he spends about $200,000 in child support, and but he said he makes so much
Condoms
money.
are so much cheaper.
So this is the point. I'm gonna circle it back to you. He says, I make so much. I make 7 figures a month on my content, and he was saying it on a video. He was like, "This video is about 3 minutes. Yeah, it's about $5,000 I'm about to make doing this. So don't worry about how much I'm spending on child support. Just know I'm getting to the bag." So it just resonated with me. Like, damn, he's making money off his content. He's doing it right. And I remember I interviewed him, and he was like, "Man, 7 pieces of content a day." He's just consistent as possible with rolling out his content on all his
You're
platforms.
a brand
Consistency.
ambassador, bro. If Diddy would have had access to Instagram and Twitter and Facebook when he was rising and he was doing what he was doing, bro, he would probably be one of the biggest recognizable figures in the world, bro.
he still is, yeah,
If
but yeah.
DJ Khaled and them boys had access when they were putting in the work ethic, when they were out there grinding the way that they were grinding and doing the stuff they were doing, when Kiko and all them guys, I know, I seen it with my own 2 eyes. I seen it.
You see to it.
And if them guys had access to the social media platforms, then we'd probably be talking about a different music industry right now. But it's okay, bro. It's okay. Everybody had their moment. And the people who came before them didn't have access to the radio stations like Khaled and them boys had, and access to recording studios, because guess what? There was a time when you went in to record music, and when you stopped, they had to stop the tape.
Facts.
They had to cut the tape. They had to paste the tape, and then they had to roll tape.
Yeah.
Now it's, stop it. Turn me up on my headphone. No, punch me back in. That didn't exist.
Didn't exist.
That's a thing
It's
now.
easier now.
It's a lot easier to create content.
and cheaper.
And guess what?
Might be the easiest.
A lot of the
we've seen.
sounds that you're hearing
Oh, it absolutely is.
aren't original sounds.
Correct.
Those are sounds that are being used or sampled or remade, and that's why you have some producers that you're like, no, hold on a second. You mean to tell me that I can make my own sounds and upload my own drum kits, and then I can get a royalty off of every song that uses this beat pattern, this drum? Hold on, bro. This is where the real money is at. And then you start to unlock the new revenue earning opportunities for you in the music business. At the end of the day, it's nobody's job to teach you how to make money in the music business. If you feel that, man, I don't post on Instagram because I don't make money. The reason you don't make money on Instagram is because you don't post enough, but you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. A lot of the things that you want from these platforms only become available after you've began to engage with the profile. Yeah. Once you have a certain amount of likes, you don't have to have them all on one video. Once you have a certain amount of likes or a certain amount of comments, or you make a certain amount of posts, you're able to use certain features. You're able to start monetizing. And guess what happens when you monetize? You could post a reel that's so funky that somebody wants to give you a $10 gift. It's on the bottom of your video if your channel is monetized. You could make a YouTube video so funky and somebody could donate $50 to you if your channel is monetized. They could like it. You don't have the $50. They could buy the $20 shirt from you if your channel is monetized.
What a concept.
You can go on live and people can buy hearts and badges when they agree with you or when they like you if your channel is monetized. So when you tell me, hey man, it's a lot to get on these platforms because we're telling you to use all of them to find out which one the people connect with you the most on.
Yep.
And then you use that platform to communicate with the people. I'm not telling you to flex on the people, bro. I'm not telling you to belittle the people, bro. I'm not telling you to insult them. I'm not telling you to make them feel less, or I'm not telling you to be an advocate or none of that. I'm telling you to use your platforms to showcase who you are to people that may like you. And when you find the platform where those people are, you go back every day and you give those people more of what they like.
Sounds so much like right.
The only problem with work is that it's dressed in overalls and has boots and gloves, and it requires you to exert energy, bro. If it were easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody.
Because everybody wants to do
Yeah.
it, man. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody has a dream. If you're a 40-year-old man, if you're a 50-year-old man right now and you're listening to this at the job, chances are you're going to ball up a piece of paper between now and the end of the week, and you're going to pass by a trash can and you're going to turn around and you're going to shoot the fadeaway and you're going to yell out, Kobe! Because you still have dreams of being a superstar. Those moments that you watch your favorite player score that touchdown on that field and you hear the crowd go crazy, I get goosebumps, bro, because it's like, what I'm feeling, yes. I understand what you're chasing. You're chasing the dragon. But be careful, bro, because while you worried about trying to catch that mother by the tail, you forgetting the head is going to bite your in half.
Chico.
Cheat code.
Get 2 coffee cups.
Yeah, bish.